So civil society groups have issued an advisory citing concerns about possible attacks on the community in the coming days in Manipur. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum and the Kuki Inpi Manipur have announced series of precautionary measures for the safety of their own community that include asking people not to travel outside the Kuki-Zo-dominated areas between September 26-28th. The group has also called for a complete shutdown on 28th in areas dominated by them. In response to the potential threat, the Kuki Inpi and ITLF have instructed village volunteers to be on alert and reinforce their positions in buffer zones. On the other hand, key Meitei civil society groups have called on Prime Minister Modi to intervene in the escalating violence in Manipur. The memorandum highlights drone and missile attacks, and these memorandums were shared with the Defence Minister and the Home Minister, and these attacks were carried out by Kuki militants in September 2024. The Meitei CSOs claim that these assaults are part of a larger separatist agenda aimed at creating a separate state. These civil society organizations have demanded an investigation into the involvement of the KSO for the abrogation. And yes, let me point out, the CSOs have demanded an investigation into these civil society organizations of the Kukis, and they have called for the abrogation of the SU agreement. They also urge the government to neutralize the threat posed by foreign-backed insurgents. On this issue, I am joined by Brijesh Pandey, Colonel Shantikumar Sapam and Dr. Thangolal Haukip. Thank you. Basically, this whole conversation is about these two memorandums, the letters that have come in last 24 to 48 hours and before 28th. Brijesh, why these? What is the basis of these two different set of letters being sent by two different set of communities in public domain? What is the basis of this?
I think, if I have to hazard a guess, I would say that the reason why these letters are being sent is to make sure that their community is safe from any potential attack. Because if you look at the last 15 days to 1 month situation, a lot of incidents which have taken place, which have kind of literally changed the theater of war. First came the drone, the talk about a drone being used to drop explosives, then came the missile, the rocket which was launched, and then later on, came the several attacks, and then came the intelligence missive that 900 Kukis are planning to enter into Manipur. So I think, based on all these issues, I think the Kuki-Zo group, they have decided that they will, they have instructed that, there should be a shutdown, complete shutdown, and should not go. Meiteis, I think, are impressing upon again and again that they should make sure that, the government should listen to their side of the view.
So what has happened is that there was first a release by the tribal leaders, then there was a release by the Meitei CSOs, and then secondly there was a counter question. There was a second release on response to the tribal leaders. So there are three set of letters that have happened. So let me go across to Mr. Sapam. Mr. Sapam is part of the Meitei World Meitei Council, Meitei Heritage Society, and Dr. Thangolal Haukip is Assistant Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance. Mr. Haukip, why has this shutdown been called, and what is the basis of this shutdown, sir?
We have to start from the beginning why this so-called 900 Kuki militants kind of propaganda has been spread. If it is a kind of intelligence input, why don't the so-called police of department share it to the other intelligence agencies? Instead, many government officials, including the chief security advisor today, released to the media. So what is this? If there is a kind of threat to kind of security situation in Manipur, then why was it not shared secretly to all the police and other paramilitary forces? That's the question. And how can something that happens in the borderland can be noticed by a
Dr. Haukip, Dr. Haukip, you are saying that this is a result of the press conference that was held by the security advisor of that?
Definitely, as well as the before this press conference, the Thobal police, kind of secret information was already leaked in the social media. So how can that kind of secret information be leaked into the public? That's impossible. So it's kind of a propaganda warfare fought by the state itself. So we
See,
have to
Dr.
question.
Haukip, I have got the letters. Dr. Haukip, I have got the letters. My question is, why do you close schools, institutions, offices? I mean to say, this is the third point. Schools,
Yeah, basically,
institutions and offices.
let me answer.
Why?
Yeah, let me answer. Today, if you watch the social media carefully, there is an organization called Ima Leibag Kanbalu, right? After this press conference by the State Security Advisor Kuldeep Singh, this organization urged all to prepare for a preemptive strike against the cookies before they can launch attack on us.
Wait a minute,
So
Mr. Haukip. What? Wait
this
a
kind
minute,
of,
Mr. Haukip. What are you reading? आप कहाँ से quote कर रहे हैं इस चीज को?
It's all over in the social media.
देखिए, Mr. Haukip, there is one thing.
There is an
Mr. Haukip, Mr. Haukip, Mr. Haukip,
my
Mr. Haukip.
motherland
Mr. Haukip,
protection force.
Mr. Haukip, all what is available in social media is not truth. My debate and discussion is based on actual official printouts of the two big Kuki organizations, couple of Meitei organizations and their counterpoint. Let's stick to what is there in the letter, sir. What is there in social media can be fiction. See. So are you saying? So are you saying? No. Are you saying that the Indigenous Tribal Leader Forum have taken the decision after some post in social media, sir?
No, this is definitely because of the Manipur government's press conference.
No.
And look into the social media.
See,
like
there can be
are,
anxiety, sir. There can be anxiety, and as a journalist, I can understand there can be anxiety. There can be anxiousness. But for me, I'm surprised if it says that the decision has been taken on the basis of social media. I think I have also joined by Mr. Sapam. Mr. Sapam, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mr.
Good evening,
Sapam.
Kartikeji.
Good evening, Mr. Sapam. Mr. Sapam, I was just, you have, the Meitei organizations have given a memorandum to the Prime Minister's office, Defence Minister's office and Home Minister's office?
Yes. They have submitted a memorandum to the various dignitaries, as you mentioned.
I'm just asking why this memorandum war has taken place, and what is your opinion on this shutdown? And I would really request everyone here who is participating in it that we will be civil with each other.
Well, as far as the shutdown is concerned, it is up to them, up to any community, whether they should shut down, they should not shut down. But the fact remains, there are many things happening in, in this region, basically. And I would say we have to understand various things which is happening in Myanmar. Like, Burma Act passed by the United States of America and, 2022. That is very important. When India is a mighty country, it's coming up very well as of now. And we were doing well in the last 3-4 years.
Sapam,
right?
Mr. Sapam, what did you say? India is a
a mighty country today.
Mighty country.
You don't agree with me.
No,
You
I
don't
agree with you. I agree with you. I couldn't get the word. You said the mighty.
Yeah,
India is
a
a mighty country. Oh, yes,
and
it's a mighty country.
we work. But one thing, let me tell you one thing. India never attacks. This we have to agree. India never attacks. We are basically a very friendly country. And our, various policies, military policies and the national, international policies are very positive, if you see. And our Prime Minister also has been roaming around, visiting, meeting various dignitaries of different countries to make things easier for the world to say properly, right? Now, the government also started this, Act East policy and things like that. And it was coming well. And even Manipur was doing very well. But then, many things happened in the neighboring countries, as we all have seen Myanmar also there and Bangladesh. And Bangladesh all of a sudden, and everything is, a lot of changes have taken place. Now in Myanmar, what happened is after 2021, after the military coup, a lot of ethnic groups have come up. As on today, the strength of junta is 150,000. right? That is the strength of, junta, military junta. And, PTF is 2 lakhs, more than 2 lakhs. And many groups are there, BPLA, then for Arakan Army, 30,000 is the strength. Arakan Army, the western portion of Myanmar has been completely controlled by them, if you really see. And the Kachin Independent Army, 15,000. And the various groups are there. Everyone is armed in Myanmar, if you really see. And, this PDF is functioning in Manipur also. And if you see with the Burma Act coming in, I'll just submit what is Burma Act for education of everyone. This act was submitted on 3rd of April 2022 by the United States in the House of Representatives. It was passed that day only, and on 26th of December 2022, the President of United States signed it. And what is under this? Let me just mention, it'll just take 1 minute, to help all ethnic armed organizations, People's Defense Forces, right? Any pro-democratic movement in Myanmar, that Myanmar is, United States is going to support.
I understand, Mr. Sapam. I completely understand that. The reason why I asked this question was, I have gone through the entire the submission you have made, and this entire submission is about tackling militancy in the state. But what is happening is, instead of tackling the militancy, it has actually raised the temperature, Vijesh. What has happened with these memorandums is, suddenly the temperature has gone up, suddenly.
Absolutely. And I think, if you look at the fact that that there are many competing narratives, with the onset of, if you look at the entire press conference logically, and things which fallen out, the fact that 900 Kuki militants, if the state says that they are at the borders ready to enter the state of Manipur, it would lead a definite apprehension as far as the Meiteis are concerned. There would be concern in the Meitei societies whether a large number of people are there to overrun their position or to cause them harm. Similarly, there would be apprehension on the part of the Kukis whether it would allow for a regroup or retaliatory attack against them, and that is the reason why I think both sides have called for. One side has called for ban, the other side has petitioned the Prime Minister for protection, saying that that protection should be given to them, and action should be taken against the Kuki community. I think I think as we have mentioned it several times, Karthike, I think time has come for the centre also to step in a very decisive way. It cannot let go of this situation, because unfortunately, whenever you have a 10-15 days of peace, or there's there's a smoke screen of peace, there comes a particular situation which blows that smoke screen to smithereens and allow the situation to deteriorate.
Do you think that this 900 Kuki militants issue has set out a different story in Manipur?
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree, because if I would hear the state security advisor, to the chief minister, somebody who has been handpicked by the central government, say in a press conference that this is the intelligence which they have received, I think it would set alarm bells ringing in every nooks and corners of Manipur. Imagine if this was said in context to Jammu and Kashmir or any other places where now the situation is very normal in J&K. But I think in any other conflict zone, it would set alarm bells ringing left, right, and centre. 900 people ready to enter, 900 militants or terrorists, whatever you call them, to enter a state is a huge number. I mean, it's not a normal number for anyone.
Mr. Haukip, I understand what you are referring to. But I'll keep. And I have it. You sent it to me, and I have it on my phone. I have it.
Yeah,
listen to me, sir. Listen to me. I have it. I'm saying it on record. I have it. You sent it to me. I have read it. But since I can't.
That's an authentic record, because.
Mr. Haukip, can you please let me complete? Can you let me complete, Mr. Haukip? Mr. Haukip, there are TV rules. I will not. Mr. Haukip, there are TV rules, social media rules. I will not violate them.
No,
I will not violate them. I am just asking you. Let me ask the question. Mr. Haukip. Let me ask the question, Mr. Haukip. I am just saying that is the state civil society organization going to run the is the state going to be run by civil society organizations? Entire shutdown has been called.
But it's a, let me once go back to the veracity of the 900 Kuki militants. So if this 900 Kuki militants, for instance, if it's true, trying to enter into Manipur, then they would need a huge convoy, right? Even 100 people is a huge group of, combat team. So 900 means how can the Assam Rifles or the BSF not notice such kind of huge intrusion into Indian territory? That's something very questionable. And where do we have the Manipur police? The outposts in the bordering areas, they are not functional. The only functional police station is More. And as most of the paramilitary officers have said, the Manipur police is divided into Meitei police and Kuki police right now. So the Kuki police would not be cooperating enough to give intelligence and many other inputs right now, because that is something very, they are in a very difficult position to hand out all those intelligence and other.
There was a press conference. I think there was a press conference in which it was said that there is a Manipur police. I mean to say, yes, people can have the views, but I would say there is only one police. But Mr. Haukip, my question is, you are not letting me come down to the question. I always try to put my journalism in context of people. Don't you think it inconveniences people, common people?
Definitely inconvenience.
मतलब चलिए मैं मैती की बात नहीं कर रहा. Wouldn't it inconvenience Kuki people also? उनको भी तो परेशानी होगी.
Yeah, let's look into the date. 28 September is something which coincides with Manipur history also. It coincides with the date when the Manipur Constitution Act was passed, 75 years ago, where, the so-called Manipur Assembly passed a kind of a constitution which would eventually move towards independence of Manipur or its own existence. So these kind of constituents should be taken into account by the security forces.
I know what you're referring to. I know what you're referring to. Yes, Mr. Haukip, I know what you're referring to. Mr. Sapam, can't there be a day in the state which can function beyond these social media posts? I try my best, that these should not slip into my program. I try my best to keep them away. I just keep them to the official documents of the registered civil societies. Registered civil society. Even then I have an issue. Civil societies have greater say than the politicians. ज़्यादा say रखते हैं, जबकि elected leaders का होना चाहिए.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, you'll be very happy, when we don't have any, we don't have any topic to talk, of crisis. That will be the day we are looking forward. And
that will be my happiest day when I have to call, if I have to call you to my office and not discuss Manipur, and we'll have a cup of tea.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. That is what I'm really looking forward to it. But one thing, certain things which we are not understanding, for viewers understanding, let me just submit one thing. The number of the kind of militancy in Myanmar, coming 900 people, armed people coming to Manipur, it's not a big deal. And as far as the border is concerned, I have mentioned before and many times that the kind of force, the number of the strength of forces which are there, the border is open. With due regard, Mr. Professor Hauki, let me submit one thing. We have certain number of paramilitary forces here in Manipur. Assam army is very less. The strength of army is very less. Assam Rifle is there, around 15 battalions.
I have one request, Mr. Sapam. I have one request. And I'll now start following it. Let us not get forces into it.
Yeah.
Let us not get forces into it. Let's not take the name of forces. Yes, we can say there is a lack of secure density of forces. Yes. Let's keep it to that, because I don't want to demoralize or demotivate any force, whether it's police, whether any part of the Indian Army.
I'm not demotivating. What I'm saying is that strength is less as compared to the length of border. The border is very, it's around 300, more than 300 kilometers, and to guard it by very few, paramilitary forces, it's next to impossible. So that is why I say that the border is open. It is not even porous. You know, a lot of gaps are there. And then infiltrating is very easy as far as, you know, trained people are concerned. That is why I wanted to submit to this thing, Professor Hauke. And, you know, Kartikeji, we will look forward to the day that, you know, we don't have to discuss, you know, crisis. We meet each other, you know, with the Professor Hauke also, with a cup of tea. That is what we are looking forward to it. And for that, yeah, we have to have a lot of dialogues without preconditions. With conditions, you can't have any dialogue. Preconditions, the central government, the home minister, or various dignitaries, they must call the, you know, the government, the elected MLAs and CSOs together. And then we must sort out this thing, because, you know, it's been too long as of now. And both the parties, you know, what happens is whenever we have this kind of, you know, little bit of settlement, then something or the you know, it happens. And both the sides, the people, the inmates in the camps, relief camps, they are all, you know, they are suffering a lot. When I go to the camp now, I somehow you don't realize you are having a wet eyes, basically. It's very difficult actually to bear with it. They have to scratch from the, you know, they have to scratch from zero. They have nothing. So that is what I wanted to say. And
नहीं, आपने एकदम सही बात बोली. Actually, आपने सही बात बोली. Mr. Sapam, you actually said the right thing. You know, the story of Manipur is actually also is in the relief camps, internally displaced people. You said the right thing. You know, these are the issues which really need to be discussed. These are the reportage which needs to be sent outside. But I completely agree with you. I really, if you ask me, Mr. Sapam, I know you, I know Professor Hauke also. I think there has to be some sort of an initiative also on part of the CSOs, sir, to bring down the temperature. If CSOs are so important in the state, there has to be an inter-CSO dialogue also. You know, I was just thinking about it. If CSOs can raise the temperature, they can also decrease the temperature. I mean, say you have served in Indian Army. You are part of a CSO. Mr. Hauke is a teacher. He's a teacher, and he comments on the other CSOs. The people like you can really bring the temperature down. The issue is how do we get people like you and Mr. Hauke on a platform which is a non-CSO platform. I think that day, Mr. Sapam, would be the success, to get people like him, people like you on a platform which are completely non-CSO. You know, that would be the real deal. But I really hope that social media messaging does not get better of the real situation in Manipur. The press conferences have been held in Delhi, the bites have been given, the texts have been sent, WhatsApp, every media house by registered CSOs. But those social media posts which are going around, which I will not even use, say, comment on my show, because I am dead against it, I think that really needs to be curbed. Isn't that, Brijesh?
Well, absolutely. And I think, you know, one of the key, the real favor you can do to any such situation is when you make sure that, you know, no kind of any unsubstantiated allegation or rumor gets another lease of life by, you know, people propagating it on air. I think that's the least we can do to solve the situation back there in Manipur.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this was our on point number 3, that this letter war has happened, the press conference war has happened. I hope there are press conferences and letters being put out which decrease the temperature rather than increase the temperature. The Kuki-Zo civil society groups have issued an advisory citing concerns about possible attacks on the community in the coming days in Manipur. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum and the Kuki Inpi Manipur have announced series of precautionary measures for the safety of their own community that include asking people not to travel outside the Kuki-Zo-dominated areas between September 26-28th. The group has also called for a complete shutdown on 28th in areas dominated by them. In response to the potential threat, the Kuki Inpi and ITLF have instructed village volunteers to be on alert and reinforce their positions in buffer zones. On the other hand, key Meitei civil society groups have called on Prime Minister Modi to intervene in the escalating violence in Manipur. The memorandum highlights drone and missile attacks, and these memorandums were shared with the Defence Minister and the Home Minister, and these attacks were carried out by Kuki militants in September 2024. The Meitei CSOs claim that these assaults are part of a larger separatist agenda aimed at creating a separate state. These civil society organizations have demanded an investigation into the involvement of the KSO for the abrogation. And yes, let me point out, the CSOs have demanded an investigation into these civil society organizations of the Kukis, and they have called for the abrogation of the SU agreement. They also urge the government to neutralize the threat posed by foreign-backed insurgents. On this issue, I am joined by Brijesh Pandey, Colonel Shantikumar Sapam and Dr. Thangolal Haukip. Thank you. Basically, this whole conversation is about these two memorandums, the letters that have come in last 24 to 48 hours and before 28th. Brijesh, why these? What is the basis of these two different set of letters being sent by two different set of communities in public domain? What is the basis of this?
I think, if I have to hazard a guess, I would say that the reason why these letters are being sent is to make sure that their community is safe from any potential attack. Because if you look at the last 15 days to 1 month situation, a lot of incidents which have taken place, which have kind of literally changed the theater of war. First came the drone, the talk about a drone being used to drop explosives, then came the missile, the rocket which was launched, and then later on, came the several attacks, and then came the intelligence missive that 900 Kukis are planning to enter into Manipur. So I think, based on all these issues, I think the Kuki-Zo group, they have decided that they will, they have instructed that, there should be a shutdown, complete shutdown, and should not go. Meitais, I think, are impressing upon again and again that they should make sure that, the government should listen to their side of the view.
So what has happened is that there was first a release by the tribal leaders, then there was a release by the Meitei CSOs, and then secondly there was a counter question. There was a second release on response to the tribal leaders. So there are three set of letters that have happened. So let me go across to Mr. Sapam. Mr. Sapam, Mr. Sapam is part of the World Meitei Council, Meitei Heritage Society, and Dr. Thangolal Haukip is Assistant Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance. Mr. Haukip, why has this shutdown been called? And what is the basis of this shutdown, sir?
We have to start from the beginning why this so-called 900 Kuki militants kind of propaganda has been spread. If it is a kind of intelligence input, why don't the so-called police of department share it to the other intelligence agencies? Instead, many government officials, including the chief security advisor today, released to the media. So what is this? If there is a kind of threat to kind of security situation in Manipur, then why was it not shared secretly to all the police and other